Hello, SoloMoms. Do you have wisdom, knowledge, and experience that someone could benefit from? Wisdom that you could parlay into a lucrative income. In today's video, I speak with personal brand specialist and mom of two, Mary Henderson, about how to develop a personal brand. If this video resonates with you, leave me a comment below. Also, please subscribe and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you'll know when I upload a new video. Thank you. Today I'm speaking with Mary Henderson, personal brand specialist, and I'm looking forward to talking to you today, Mary. Welcome.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm looking forward to also having a conversation with you as well. So thank you for having me.
Of course, for sure. So before we delve into our topic, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but first of all, we want to know who you are. Who is Mary Henderson?
Well, you can tell from my accent that I'm from Australia and I live in Melbourne, Australia. On a personal level, I'm married. I have two boys, 12 and 10-year-old, which keep me very, very busy. Yes, they're very cute. And I also have a very successful coaching business, and I essentially work with industry experts and I help them unpack their knowledge, wisdom, their skill set, and convert that into a brand and also a online business.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds interesting. Those boys must be fun, right?
They're really fun and they're very loud and, and they're always, resisting everything that I ask them to do. So we're always a battle. It's always a battlefield in our house, but it's really fun. And I have a very good relationship with them, which is really, really important. So, we do the best that we can, Jennifer. Mums always win and then they lose and then they win. But at the end of the day, as long as there's love in the home, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. I have three sons, so I understand. And my two youngest are very close in age. So I remember those days.
It's so full on. But, and the thing is that both of my boys are homeschooled as well. So we have a long distance school that they belong to. And they, and every day they have very set, criteria of what they need to do. And oh my God, Jennifer, getting them to sit down and finish the work. It's like, do you understand? I think I'm more worried than what they are. They're like, okay, Mum, whatever. But it's funny, they're really, really cool though.
Yeah, they are. Thank you. Thank you for sharing you with us. And okay, so what is personal branding? What's that all about?
Well, I think that the best way to describe personal branding, Jennifer, is you, the human, are the business. That's it. It's as simple as that. And I think that one of the things that I'm extremely passionate about when it comes to personal branding is actually commercializing a human being based on their knowledge, wisdom, and their skill set into an actual commercial outcome. Because personal branding on its own, what are you going to do with colors and a color palette? Okay, it's nice, but that doesn't necessarily convert to commercial outcomes. So for me, it's all about turning the human skill set, the human internal inventory into a commercial outcome.
Oh, okay. I understand that now. I've heard it described a lot differently, but I never fully understood it until you just explained it, right?
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you understand it. Because, the thing is that's the whole idea, Jennifer, is to simplify it, right? And then the more simple, the more people go, oh, yeah, that totally makes sense. But the key is the commercialization aspect. If it can't be commercialized, it's just another shiny object.
Ah, okay. So how do we do that? I want to specifically address us as women. How do we do that? Because, we love shiny objects.
And that's the problem, isn't it? Because it's just like, if it's not this shiny one, well, this one will do. I think that the personal brand is important if you are genuinely in business and you want to stand out, you want to be seen, you want to be heard. I don't really work with people. Well, I don't work with people who are, want to be influencers on social media and that space. That's not the area that I work in. For me, it really is about helping people who genuinely have accumulated 10, 20, 30, 40,000 hours of accumulated knowledge, wisdom, and skill set. It could be their corporate life. It could be their passion. It could be anything. It could be a hobby. But it's about taking that internal inventory and breaking down all of the attributes that make up a human being, my natural gifts, my natural talents, my core values, my story, and making sure that all of these brand attributes, when they are unpacked, number one, they're aligned. Number two, they're congruent with one another. Because when you unpack all of those attributes, what you actually find is that, based on all of this knowledge, wisdom, and skill set that I've accumulated, I can actually solve a complex problem. And based on solving that complex problem, this audience needs that problem solved. I can create a solution around that complex problem, and I can take it to this audience over here. And, and then that's, how you start to monetize, if you will, your genius zone.
Yes, yes. I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, one of my favorite terms has always been, you are you Inc. Mm-hmm. I had a time in my life when I worked as an admin assistant. And a lot of admins just like to pay the piper. They just come in, clock in, and hope they don't get any work to do and go home, right? And I like to preach, you are you Inc. So you are representing the person you are. Mm-hmm. Right? So It seems like that's what you're saying, and that personal branding can be applied to our careers as well as being a businesswoman, right?
100%. Absolutely. And this is my passion. It's about educating human beings that your internal inventory is real currency. Nobody can take away all of those years of life experience. Nobody. No matter how hard I try to take away your life experience and your knowledge and your wisdom and your skill set, I can't do it. That's number one. Number two, it never, ever, ever depreciates in value. Never. It only appreciates in value. Okay. And number three, that's where innovation lives. That's where innovation lives. It's amongst all of that data, that information that's stored inside of us. That's where innovation and creativity live. So the thing that really bothers me is, and especially with women, is that what do? We get to 60 and 70 and we say, you know what? All those years I had all those experience. I did all that. I did that and I did that and I did that. Is that just a mere memory? We just leave it behind as a mere memory. And I'm saying, no, that is not a memory. That is currency. That is currency. So it's a gold mine. You've just walked away from the greatest gold mine of your life because no one's explained to you that your knowledge, wisdom, and skill set is the true currency because it never depreciates. No one can ever take it away from you.
Yes, that is so true. But I can empathize with those, and I'll focus on the women, because when you reach a certain age, you're quote unquote too old, for certain things, which is kind of ridiculous, but that's the landscape, that we're in. But it's up to us, right, to own our genius, so to speak, and make sure that the age isn't even a factor, because we need to gain confidence or something, right? What do we need to do about that?
Yeah, I love that. I think that you're absolutely right. It's interesting because I have quite a lot of clients that are 60 plus, and they are unbelievable women, powerful, strong, innovative, young, like just on fire, like real go-getters. And and I think what happens is that it's a mindset. It's a belief system that you either believe or you don't. And that's the reality. And so, well, and also society's done a great job of reminding us that, if we're not, we're mothers, we're supposed to be in the kitchen, we're supposed to cook, we're supposed to clean, and then, just get a normal job, to pay the bills, to contribute to the family. And then you get to 60 and you retire and, and that's it. That's basically life. And we've been fed this idea that that's what women are supposed to do, when in actual fact, that is completely the opposite of what the truth actually is. So it is a mindset thing. And this is the thing, Jennifer, we have to also take matters in our own hands, and we have to challenge those paradigms. All of those paradigms that we've been fed, we have to have the courage to fight those or question those, not necessarily fight them in a negative sense, but just really stand up to those and ask ourselves pragmatic questions. Is that true? Is that right? Does that sound right? How come such and such is doing that and I'm not doing that? Is there something wrong with me, or have I not asked the right questions? So we have to challenge the status quo. Once you challenge the status quo, Pandora's box opens, and then you step inside Pandora's box, and suddenly there's a new world that you've never even seen before.
Yes.
That's what we need to do. That's the depth of challenge that we need to bring into the world one by one. If every woman challenges the status quo, we would be unstoppable.
Yes. And I think that probably is starting to happen now.
Yeah.
Because, of the pandemic, I mean, we can grumble and complain about the last 2 years all we want, and we have a right to do so. But a lot of good, have come out of it, in that a lot of us have realized our asset, that we are an asset.
Yes.
Whatever we have, we're an asset, so, that's really good. So thank you.
You're spot on. You're absolutely, I agree with you. Spot on.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So, okay. So it's a struggle, and the mindset is hard to overcome, but I think the confidence is worse. Like, I can admit to you, I'm over 60. And I've looked at jobs. I'm not really looking for a job, but I've looked at jobs. And when I look at them, I'm thinking to myself, they're looking for somebody in their 30s. That's me 30 years ago, right? And so we need, the mindset is what's really the problem. But if we can, the other word you use, I've noticed, is purpose.
Yes.
If we are able to push through all that garbage, even our own, blockage, and focus on that purpose, would you agree that we'll be able to open this Pandora's box that you speak of?
Well, let's look at the word purpose. What is purpose? Is it something that you're chasing out there? Or is purpose what you already have in here? So if it's in here, what does that then mean? It means that my internal inventory, my lived experience, all of the knowledge, wisdom, and skill set that I've gained, I can turn that into my purpose. So I'm not chasing for something out there. I'm using what's in here to drive my purpose. And that's what we have to understand. Most people are looking for purpose out there. They get this, a coach to help them find their purpose. What are they finding? It's not out there. It's in here. You don't need a coach to find your purpose. What you need is to understand, what does my knowledge, wisdom, and skill set look like? And, and what can I then do with that? And therefore, age, it's got nothing to do with it. Nothing, zero. So if I know that I can solve that problem with ease and grace, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, what has age got to do with it? I want to know you. Doesn't matter how old you are, if you can help me solve that problem.
Yes. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, for sure. Wow. All right, taking a break. What is Mary grateful for today?
What am I grateful for today? I'm grateful today that I actually was able to wake up and breathe, which I'm grateful for every single day. As something as simple as that we take for granted. And let me assure you, I take nothing for granted at all. But waking up and breathing is a gift.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. And yes, amen to that.
Absolutely.
Yes, for sure. All right, so let's talk about dig deep a little bit more. But before we do that, tell us about what service you offer to someone. I mean, I know you've glanced over it a little bit, but go dig deep and tell me how you could help your clients. Yeah.
Well, when people come to me, the first thing that they say to me is that I have a lot of experience. I just don't know how to dissect all of the information and put it into some form of order. So the first thing I do with people is that we always set the foundation by understanding what that individual will look like as a brand. And we unpack all of the attributes, set the foundation before we build the house, and then we look at the information based on their knowledge, wisdom, and their skill set, and look at, okay, based on all of that, this is the problem that you can actually solve with ease and grace. And we turn that information, all of that data is then organized systematically so that it makes sense. And we turn that into a system. And then the third part of the process is to create digital assets to support that. Because we create digital assets. Why? Because we want to give the outside world an ecstatic brand experience. Think of it like customer service. They come to my website. I want them to have an ecstatic brand experience. I want them to experience my content in a way that provides them with an ecstatic brand experience. So they're all the digital assets we need to build and all the automation process to support that. And then the fourth part is a layered lead generation strategy. In there lives the sales strategy, the content strategy, and also using a layered lead generation strategy for all different platforms. And essentially that's my process.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. So basically, you help people convert their knowledge and wisdom and skills into creating a business. Is that
Correct.
what you do? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
And it's predominantly an online business.
Okay. And how can we find you?
Yes, so you can please email me, mary@maryhendersoncoaching.com. I'm on LinkedIn at Mary Henderson Coaching with a pink circle around my face. You can connect with me on Facebook on my personal page, which is Mary Henderson Coaching, or on Instagram, Mary Henderson Coaching, and of course my website, maryhendersoncoaching.com.
Okay, thank you. And we'll put those links in the show notes so people have access to that, right?
Thanks, Jennifer. Thank you.
Sure. All right. And I'm a big fan of mentoring. I mentor others, and I've always had a mentor. Why are mentors important?
I think that, it's the obvious answer to me is that if I've got 20, 30 years experience in, my area of specialization, I also have wisdom that comes with that. And when you speak to a mentor, essentially what you're doing, or a coach, you're actually fast tracking your own success through their experience. And a great coach has those three elements: knowledge, wisdom, and skill set. The wisdom part is the most important part, because if learned knowledge is not experienced, it can't become wisdom. So textbook coaches are not going to work. But those coaches that have been around for a long time and they can just speak with ease and grace, they're the ones that are going to fast track your career.
I like that. I really do. All right. Thank you. Dropping knowledge bombs.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So what one piece of advice would you give a solo mom, and just a solo mom who maybe just sitting around not really focused on any of this?
I think that the message that I am very clear on is this: that we are entering into a digital economy. In fact, we're already in it, in the thick of it, actually. We have to understand what that actually means to us as individuals and the impact that it has on us as individuals. Okay? When you're in the digital economy, we're either in it or we're out of it. And by that, I don't mean being on Facebook, swiping all day on Instagram. I'm talking about, how do you immerse yourself in the digital economy and become a part of it? Okay. And this is why I talk about knowledge, wisdom, and skill set being a currency. Because if you look at digital currencies like crypto, all of the whole blockchain mindset, that is a currency that is indestructible. Okay. It cannot depreciate in value. Okay. It's based on human energy. It also there's a lot of innovation that supports that type of currency. Let's look at that as a benchmark and look at what we have as humans, which is our own knowledge, wisdom, and skill set. Understand the currency in that. Understand that that's where innovation lives. Understand that it never depreciates, and understand that that is the true currency. When you can get your head around that, and you can look at all of that as a pool of data, you can do something with that. You then are in the game of the digital economy. You're not a separate to it, you're a part of it. And that's the message that I want to leave and educate as many women, especially as I can, that they're already sitting on a gold mine.
Yes, true, very true. But imposter syndrome can be a big factor for us.
Yes.
Especially it's still a male-dominated economy, no matter where you are. So, one final question. Are you able to give us any kind of pointers on how to navigate imposter syndrome? Because people say, just tell it to go away or whatever, but it's not that easy, we know, right?
I found, Jennifer, that procrastination, imposter syndrome, all of those negative behaviors, I have found that they only play out when you have no plan or you have no system in place. So if somebody hasn't given you a system to say, Jennifer, this is how you do it, you're going to be invigorated by that. If I gave you my system and said, Jennifer, this is exactly how you do it, this is the implementation process to get you from A to Z, you're going to be excited because you've got a system that you can follow without a shadow of a doubt. Based on all of my years of experience, you know that it's for real. You know that the system that I'm giving you is based on lots of trials and tribulations. Okay, it's outcome driven. So it invigorates you, it excites you, it motivates you. Imposter syndrome doesn't live in that environment. Imposter syndrome only lives when you're uncertain. I don't know if this is right. Should I be doing it like this? But everyone else is doing it like this, because you're constantly in competition, because you have no clear pathway, there's no system, there's no strategy. All of this is very, very important, which is why I use two very important words in my work, strategic and deliberate. When you're strategic and deliberate, it means you've got a plan in place and you're implementing that plan every single day. The imposter syndrome cannot live in that space because you are all focused on implementation of a plan.
Wow, that's totally awesome. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you not telling me that, just tell it to go away, because that's what I hear a lot. Just tell it to go away. No. And that makes absolutely sense. Absolute sense. Thank you very much, Mary Henderson, for coming and talking to us.
Thank you, Jennifer. And I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
I'm excited to share that SoloMoms Talk is now on YouTube. Check out these interviews on our new channel, SoloMoms Talk TV. There you will actually see the interaction between myself and my guests. You will also find bite-sized clips of daily inspiration to help you manage the struggles of everyday life. So click SoloMoms Talk TV below to watch now.